So, hey folks, how are you doing today? Now, welcome to what is actually the first kind of interview slash kind of little show that we're going to be doing on growth. So, if you don't know who I am, my name's Gary from Grow Marketing and Media, and I'm going to be your host for this weekly show. And today I am joined by Jody Fletcher, who you can see just on that side. Yeah, that way. Oh, I can't do it today. But Jody and I are going to be talking about loads of really cool stuff to do, the stuff that you're going to find around your office, around your home, and how there's promo gifts like this. So that's what Jody does. Jody is the expert in getting you noticed by printing your logo on different stuff. Now, I've done her a massive justice by giving her that intro. But Jody, tell us a little bit about your company and about what you do.
Hi Gary. So Chili Promotional Products is a supplier of all different types of brand marketing products, corporate gifts, anything really that you can think of with your logo on it. So whether it's clothing, things that you send out in the post, things you pick up at exhibitions, gifts, things that you're giving to your staff, things to attract new staff, pretty much anything that you can think of where you want to put your logo to make your company stand out and look great.
You see, now there's a little bit of a delay, so apologies for the people listening to this if they can hear the delay. And please, if you've got any questions for Jody or I, please put them in the comments. We'll be able to see them, and then we'll be able to kind of go from there. So you mentioned about putting logos in different items. What are kind of some of the most common items you get asked for? Let's start off with that question.
Okay, so the really everyday things that we're asked for are things like pens, promotional pens. Obviously, everybody thinks about promotional pens all the time, and I've got some different examples here. But things like, I covered it all up. Things like these ones that are really inexpensive, everyday promotional pens. They are about 17p on 1,000, so they're really inexpensive, great for leaving around places, great for handing out at exhibitions. And then there are right the way through to some really gorgeous gift pens that come in lovely boxes, and then things in between. Like, I really love these ones. You can't really see, but it's a heavy metal pen engraved to a really shiny silver with your logo, so they look really smart. They've got the soft stylus on the end, but it's much more of a gift, and they can come in awesome boxes. So they're one of the things that are a really popular item. Notebooks were asked about all the time, whether it's notepads where you tear off a sheet, like these sorts of things, just tear off a page as you go. They come in so many different sizes. Fantastic. I love to see it. Or actual hardback books, like the Multiple ones come with a pen, can come with a pen. They come in loads of different colours again. So those are probably the most popular everyday items. And bags. We do loads and loads of bags.
When you say bags, do you mean that kind of like the tote bags, kind of the woven cloth bags, or what bags do you mean?
Things like the cotton tote bags, but also jute bags, much heavier duty, but also things like these ones, which we did for a client, which are pretty flat. This one's got it's been in a box, sorry, it's a bit battered, but they come flat. It's a laminated paper bag, but there's also a natural unlaminated, fully biodegradable one, just gift bags, but they're really nice. You put stuff in it, they stand up, so really nice at like welcome tables. So if you're doing a conference, something like that, where the cotton tote bags tend to fall down, but they look great when they're being carried around over your shoulder. Those sorts of bags that will stand up are a great option if you've got a welcome table.
I'm going to ask a really silly question now, but I don't think it is a silly question. Why do we need this kind of stuff? Why do we need these in our lives?
It's really important to find things that are useful to people, because otherwise people don't need it, and that's no good. If you're just giving them something just for the sake of it, you're wasting your money and it's bad for the environment. So the key is to find things people do need in their life. So things that people are going to find useful, things that people are going to want, things that people are going to keep using. Then your brand is with them all the time, and the positive association of your brand and the fact that it's making their life easier or better, or in some way it improved, is a really good thing.
I love it. And just to kind of give you people a heads up, I invested in some promotional items last year, and I have done actually all the way through. And one of the things I kind of went for was pens to start off with. I had the printed stuff, so we had notepads and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted pens, but there was such a large selection, and for me, the actual amount of styles was mind-boggling, and actually that could have put me off. But I found one particular pen that I absolutely loved, because it made my life easier. It went back on what you said, and that was it's got a little ridge just there where you can put your phone or mobile device in. So you can put it on your desk and you can see it. So for instance, it would be like that. And that just makes it so much simpler. It's also got a screen cleaner there. It's also got a little stylish just there. So for me, where I spend a lot of time on devices, these pens were really useful for me. But I also know my clients spend a lot more time on their devices as well. So therefore, really good for them. But there is such a large array of choice. How do people narrow that selection process down for them?
You just hit on a really good point there. And you said you chose that pen because it was really good for you, but then you said also because your customers spend a lot of time on social media. But so many people choose things or start off trying to choose things that they think are really useful for them, and it might not be that that's actually what your customer needs. So the most important thing is to think about where your customers are. If your customers are in a van for the day, their needs are going to be really different to someone who's desk-based for the day. It's so much about thinking where you want your brand to be associated with them. So is it something you want people to think about when you're driving? Because if you're a petrol company, or you're a fast food company, something like that, something when people are out and about, it's really useful, because then they think, oh, I'm a bit hungry, oh, McDonald's. That's different to where you want someone to be sat at their desk and you think, actually, now I need them to concentrate when they're calling me or when they think of me, because they need to be focused on it. So actually I want something that's on their desk, or something that's important to them when they're looking at their finances. If you're an accounts person, it's different. So it's really, I think it's really about thinking about what your customers do, where they are in their journey at the point that you're giving them the merchandise, and what's gonna be useful and good to them at the time that they're in the right place to be thinking about you. I was a bit long-winded, sorry.
No, it wasn't, and that was brilliant, because I want to give people a real life example of this. When we moved into our house, first time mortgage person 4 or 5 years ago now, and Halifax, the company who we got our mortgage from, gave us a little welcome gift, and there was there were 2 bits, a little hamper. There was 2 bits in the hamper. There was the food stuff and the drink stuff, which stayed in the cupboard for ages, and then the second one, and this is the kick-ass bit, gave us a mini little toolkit, because they knew that we were going to be doing that.
We moved 5 years ago as well. It's amazing.
I've still got it to the day, and it's.
Oh, I think you're frozen.
No, I'm back. You back?
Cool.
It's one of those gifts that are great,
because it's got that mix of something that's the instant pleasure, like the food thing, and the wine. When you've just moved house, that bit of wine was really appreciated. And then the toolkit is still really handy. We've still got it, and it's got Halifax on it. And I think next time when we stuck with them, we remortgaged with them, not because I thought we were going to get another kit, but actually no other mortgage company. I've had quite a few mortgages. No other company's ever sent me anything, so they're now my top mortgage company.
Yeah, I completely understand it, completely get it, and that was just a perfect example of it. There you go. That's it. That's what I've got. That's exactly it.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's ace. It is. So when you think about your items, think about it with your end user, your customer, right in the mind of it. What are they going to find useful? What are they going to associate with, and how are they going to be using it every day? And I suppose the more times they use it, the more they'll see your brands, and therefore the more recognition, the more visibility, and it almost will accelerate the know, like, trust. Is that right?
I think so. And it's also really important to think about where, if it's something you're giving them the first time that they've come across you, if it's at an exhibition, that's going to be a different thing to something that you give them when they've just made a purchase from you or something like that. And it's, just thinking about where in the journey everybody is, because that will really change what you want to be giving them, nobody's going to think kindly of you for giving them a 17p pen if they've just spent, just committed their mortgage with you and be like, yeah, thanks for that. But there are low cost things that, not 17p, but low cost things that would still have that value and that thank you element.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just to kind of give you a little kind of pointer, there was quite a few people who, when I was looking at branded items, for me, pens were the one I went for, but I could have gone for coasters because people are in offices and sitting down at desks. Why not have that? I could have gone for kind of water bottles because people on the move when they listen to podcasts. It's about getting into that kind of area. I love that. Now let's be a little bit clever about promotion items and have a look at what items we should go for now, but also next year. Because we're in a bit of a state of flux in terms of the climate and the environment and what people are going to need and their habits and behaviors. But how can we use promotional items to get our visibility as high as possible, but also help our end users?
Okay, so at the moment, it's as you said, a really weird time. People have been much more stuck at home than they would normally be. A lot of people are a lot more anxious than they might normally be. So things that are either going to be useful to them, as always. So things like just at the very start of the pandemic, I sent out these little hand sanitizers to my customers. They're really small, they fit in your pocket, and I haven't been without one ever since. It's always in my pocket because to me, it's really important that when I've touched something now, I can hand sanitize, and that keeps me safe. And I want my customers to be safe and stay safe. And to me, by giving them that was something that was going to be useful to them and help them, and hopefully will make them know that I care about them. So that wasn't about selling, that was about helping keep them safe. And face masks, again, are great if you want to get some really high visibility. I haven't done it particularly, but you can get these really funky branded face masks. They're all over print, so I know lots of people have gone for some really bold ones, especially with some funky brands, and others have just gone, some really funky design and just a little logo on it. Do things like that. That at the moment is still useful and it's still appreciated. But I think it's also at the moment reminding people that you care. That might be sending a cookie in the post. It might be we're doing quite a lot of things that you can send in boxes. So whether these are sort of at the top end of them, really nice gift box with a big glossy logo in the middle. Those open up and you can put whatever you like in those, and we can arrange for those to be sent out. But there's also these ones I like because they're kept and they're a memory box, and you can put whatever in it. I'm always squirreling stuff away in those. But there are also just like the white cardboard mailing boxes, and again we can put a mug, perhaps a normal mug, fill it with some sweets, fill it with anything you want, some nice care things, or a chocolate orange because it's coming up to Christmas. Literally anything that you want can be done into these boxes. And I think that's a really nice way at the moment. So many companies have had all their staff working at home since March, and that's really weird for people. Most people aren't used to working at home all the time. And if they're used to being in a really big office and then all of a sudden they've been at home all the time, it's really nice to receive something that lets you know that your company cares about you and is still thinking about you, even though they can't see you all the time. So I think those are the things
I like it, yeah.
Run up to the new year. And hopefully the new year is going to bring all sorts of new things, and we'll be back to going to exhibitions, going to conferences, getting out and about, networking, and hopefully some kind of a normal life will resume at some point next year.
Yeah, but the thing is, even if we are in the same position this time next year, I still think your ideas around kind of, about sending stuff to your clients, to your suppliers, to your audiences, it's still going to be just because actually that's still going to give them that contact, Arbeit, virtual contact, but they're actually going to physically get something. Even as you said, coming up to Christmas, you send them a cup with a chocolate orange in, or Easter with a Kinder eggs or Easter egg. It's those kind of little bits which will separate you from someone else. Yeah,
and I think it's those touch points, isn't it? If people are used to seeing you lots, if you're a salesperson who normally goes and visits your customer once every couple of months or every 3 months, and you're not getting to do that, just to send them something. It's really nice to talk to people. It's great to have Zoom, but just those little extras that can come in the post as a complete surprise. It's so lovely when you get a surprise, isn't it? Who doesn't love getting something in the post that's a complete treat? So yeah,
this is true. This is very true. And just to give a shout out, you carry on.
No, I lost you, I think. I wasn't saying anything.
Carry on. Oh, you carry on. It's all good.
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. Well, just want to give a quick shout out. I received this book yesterday from Keith Blakemore Noble. It's his 5th book. I was part of the beta testing group, so I've read it, and I would really recommend anyone to get it. But as I wasn't expecting it, literally something came through the post. I kind of ran up to it, and it was like, oh, yay. It was really cool, and it was a lovely, lovely feeling to kind of receive something. So where do people get started with this? You know, we've been talking for 16 minutes about the importance of it, of how to choose the products, but how do people get started on their kind of journey using promotional gifts as a way of engaging their customers?
I think it's having an idea of where you want to use it or how you want to use it. So, you know, at the moment it's thinking, well, do you want something that's going to be at Christmas, or do you want something you're going to send out sooner? Because sometimes at Christmas it can get quite busy. You know, people's post gets quite busy. So sometimes sending something out in November might be better than sending out in December. It might have a bigger impact. So really, yeah, thinking, or sending out in January, which is another quite popular thing to do, something that's on people's desks sort of the first day that they're back at work, whether that's back at work at home. Thinking about what you want to do, what you want to achieve, but talking to me. I always, you know, talk to me, because I've got 12 years experience now at doing this. I know what I'm talking about with it. And sorry, the phone's ringing. I'm always happy to chat through ideas. Sometimes people phone and say, oh, I definitely need such and such. And then, you know, we'll have a quick chat about why it is what it is they're looking to achieve, who they're sending them to. And we talk about it, and we talk about, had you considered you could do something like this, or what, you know, have you thought about this? And they might end up choosing something completely different. And it's not because I've told them that what they thought was a bad idea. You know, it's because actually they hadn't realized that you could get this, that, and the other, or they hadn't thought about how something like that could be perceived at this moment. And because I've been doing it for so long, I've talked to different people about so many different things. I've used me, I think, is the biggest thing I say. You know, use the knowledge that I've got, and you can take it or leave it. I don't mind, and I don't mind if you end up you know, using me, getting ideas, but then you end up getting it from somewhere else. It's, you know, it's all about you getting the right thing for your business. That's what I want people to be, as happy and have merchandise that works for them. I don't want anybody to say, well, I got merchandise and it didn't work, because if it didn't, it wasn't the right thing, and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, and I completely understand that. From a marketing point of view, it's not normally the issue itself in terms of not working. It's how the implementation or the timing, or, you know, it could be one of a number of factors, but people give up too quickly. So I love that. If people want to find more information about you online, you know, your website, social medias, where's best for them to go to kind of get more info?
Okay, so our website is chilipromotions.co.uk, and then on social media we've got a Facebook and LinkedIn page that is Chili Promotional Products, and on Twitter and Instagram I'm Chili Jody, which is with a Y, so CHILLIJODY, just to really confuse the issue. And I'm also on LinkedIn as Jody Fletcher. So and I would love to people, and I'm absolutely not salesy. So even if it's just something you hadn't really thought about and you think, maybe I could make that work, give me a chat. Don't worry, there's not going to be any thumb screws and any, they've talked to me now, so now they're going to get bombarded with emails and called every 3 weeks. Not like that.
No, and to be fair, if you were that kind of person, you wouldn't be on the show. So that's all good. So thank you so much for your time today. We've been talking 20 minutes, well, just shy of 20 minutes. So if you've got any questions for Jody, please put them in the comments below. And thank you very, very much for watching today. We've been streaming on our Facebook page, the Growth Marketing Media Facebook page, YouTube channel, and also in the Growing Circle. So please, if there's any comments, I'll pass them on to Jody if she didn't spot them. But thank you very, very much for watching today. And if you wanted to be on the show, then let's have a chat. For Jody, thanks for everyone. Thanks for you spending your time talking today, and take care, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Gary.
That's all right.